Hi everyone, my name's Michelle and I'm Mama Loves UGB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram as well. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing. This is FlossTube number 50 and it is the 10th of September. How are we all doing this week? I'm going to see whether these glasses annoy me. I can see the reflection. There we go, that's better. I can see the reflection in them and it's going to annoy me. If it annoys me, it's probably going to annoy you as well. So, welcome along. I hope everyone's had a really great stitchy week. I've had a lovely week. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what I've been up to this weekend in a minute, but I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who gave me a bit of support over the thumbs downer. I'm not worried. I'm not worried in the slightest about it. Honestly, I'm nearly at 9,000 subscribers. I get so many lovely comments every week. I get lots of thumbs ups every week. The odd one or two thumbs downers do not bother me in the slightest. If I was worried like that, I would never have become a teacher. Honestly, those kids can be brutal. If I took a straw poll at any point in my lesson, I'm sure I'd get 3 or 4 thumbs downs, and that's out of 30 kids, not out of 6,000 people. So not worried at all. I don't know if anybody had their teachers in the same boat, but since we've come back, and since we're not allowed to mingle as much as we used to with the students, the graffiti has gone through the roof on my tables. I had really old tables anyway. They're written on, they're marked. So the kids just think that, you know, especially at the moment, they think that adding another little bit doesn't really seem to matter. And then the really annoying thing about my tables is that when I'm at the front, my tables are lab benches and they've got a little lip at the back as well. So I can't see past that lip to see what they're doing. And seriously, the occasional thing that I've read on that table, nothing in comparison to a thumbs down. Or a thumbs down is nothing in comparison to that, let me tell you. Anyway, it's been really nice autumn weather here. It's been a little bit on the hot side actually. So we've been able to get out and about a bit, although it's been a busy week at work. We went down to the beach today. It's the first time we've been to the beach for ages actually. And I took a little video of my local beach and just some of the things that you can see down there. It's just a little scenic interlude, shall we call it, and I'll post a little clip of it here. So I thought I'd just take a little clip of our local beach. This is Poppet Sands, and just down over there is where the boat goes from for dolphin watching. All along there is a little place called Goobert, and then there's my crew, and then Cardigan Island, and all the way round on a huge beach down to Black Rocks in Kemys Head, and then all the way round back to the lifeboat station. Just for contrast, at the other end of the beach, when it's really low tide, you can get to the very old lifeboat station. It's beautiful, isn't it? I know, I am super lucky to live where I do. So like I said, it's been a busy week. I finally managed to get to the post office this week. I share with somebody else on the way to work. Now we're allowed to do that, and so I can't always call into the post office on the way home. But bizarrely, our local post office, or the post office in the village where my school is, still only lets one person in at a time. So if I want to go down to the post office, I've got to have at least an hour to spare to stand in queue. So I've finally got to a slightly bigger post office today. So I've posted out a load more floss drops. I've posted out all the giveaways from a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of loan charts as well. So I feel I've cleared the decks a little bit, and I've contacted my next kind of batch of floss drop people. I've got lots of floss drops to show you because I think I've got about 2 weeks worth here, because I didn't show you the ones from last week because a lot of them arrived literally on the day that I was filming, so I didn't have the chance to go through them, so I'm going to show you some more of those today. I'm sorry, I've got my notes in front of me because I've got so much to remember today. Right, I have got 4 finishes to show you today. I've worked on 3 other things, and I'm so pleased with what I've got done this week. So I'm going to show you that straight away, and then I'm going to talk about a few other bits and bobs. So the first thing that I finished that I'm really happy about is what I'm going to release for Black Sampler November, which is something that's being hosted by Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery. And this is my first go at designing a sampler, and you've seen it develop. I've kind of showed you row by row what's been happening with it. And if you don't remember when I first showed it to you, this is a sort of Scottish inspired sampler, which has got the name of my granny's first baby on it. Now she died very soon after she was born, and she was called Nessie, which is coincidental considering my daughter is also called Ness. It wasn't the reason for it, it just is a coincidence. So I'm going to show you. So the first row I showed you was that lovely floral border, and then we had a couple of alphabet rows, and then I showed you the crowns and the vowels, and there she is in all her glory. So this is stitched on, can I go this way, 36 count summer khaki, and I've used, let me come this way, I've used the black 12 weight sulky in for everything except for the over one. And the over one, which says Nessie Mitchell 1929 Kilmore's, that was done with just one single thread, which is similar to a thread and a strand. A thrand is a new word. One single strand of 310 DMC, just to get the thinness of the thread. But I am super pleased with her. Now the reason I went for the AEIOU was about 2 months ago, I suppose. Ness learned the difference between the vowels and the consonants, which is something we've been doing with her at school because she does Welsh at school. So it's something we've been looking at with her at home. And let's come back this way. And she spent a good couple of weeks just going through the house going A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U. What does that spell? A-E-I-O-U, the vowels. And I noticed that there were a couple of samplers, reproduction samplers in existence that have A-E-I-O-U on them. And one of them actually was a stitch along piece that the Cruel Goblin were doing. I can't remember the designer now, but that's where I saw it. Somebody doing it as a stitch along through the Cruel Goblin in Australia, and so I thought I would put AEIOU on it just to remind me of that. The 4 crowns are for the 4 surviving children that she went on to have, 2 girls and 2 boys, and then a kind of Scottish inspired border on the bottom. So as I said, I've got to sort out the paperwork and everything this week, and if all goes to plan, I will be releasing this through my Etsy store next weekend, hopefully next weekend. So my store is actually shut at the moment, or is it on holiday? It might be on holiday. I think you can still go and see it because I've seen notifications of people coming through and favouriting it. So if you haven't favourited it, then do give it a favourite, and then when I put this up, it won't be very expensive, but when I put this up, you'll be able to download it from there. And I'm super pleased the way it came out. I did consider doing a drum finish, and I think it would look lovely as a drum, but I am going to frame her. So there we go. That is going to be my first sampler release. I've just got to put that needle in the right place. I'm terrible for leaving a needle in the top corner and then forgetting about it. My second finish is one that I was very close to finishing last week, and it's by LittleRobinDesigns, and it's the St Ives sampler. It says St Ives Headingley along the bottom, and you'll recognise it straight away. I will put a picture up there because I've forgotten to bring the cover card up again, and you'll recognise it straight away. It's that gorgeous pink sampler. Now, she has released these in her Etsy shop as PDFs now, so if you haven't been able to get hold of it as a paper copy from your LNS, you can download it as a PDF. And there she is. So this is stitched on a piece of 28 count. I don't know the colour, but it's somewhere, something like platinum, I would say. It's not cream, it's not a true cream anyway. I'd definitely say it's more of a platinum. And there it is. And I did it in 2 strands of a Silks For You, and I'm going to have to put the Silks For You colour at the bottom because I don't think I brought the strand up for that one either. I really like doing it with 2 strands because I felt I got the density of the colour, and in fact this one was called for on 32 count, so it would have been 2 strands anyway. And so there we go. I really enjoyed stitching this one. It went super fast, and I'm going to frame that one as well. I'm going to have 2 new framed samplers for the wall. Okay, what else have I got? 2 other finishes that weren't even starts last week. They weren't even on my horizon until I got a little package in the post from Paola from Pantini, and she's super kind to me, and she sent me her new releases. So let me show you what she sent me, and then I will show you what I've stitched. So these are all available now from your LNS. So the first one she sent me was Halloween Trio. Now this one is like that because I've got all the threads that I was using stuffed in there. So I've done 2 out of the 3 of these. So you can have a guess which 2 you think I've done, and I'll show you in a minute. And she's been super kind with all her charts to me, in that she's included 2 sets of buttons in each one, so that once I've finished I can give it away with the buttons. So that's called Halloween Trio. And she also sent me, let's do these ones first, October, When I Think of October, When I Think of November, and When I Think of December. Like I said, there's 2 buttons in each one. And then she sent me, what have I got left to do? I missed one. Nope. No. Then she sent me Sweet Holidays, those gorgeous candy canes. Who was it was talking about doing gingerbreads? Michelle from Michelle. It's happening again. Made by Michelle McGraw. There's the gingerbread one. And this one, Do Not Open Until Christmas. I absolutely love her designs, as I'm sure you all know. And she also sent me some pins. So those pins, I believe, are the set of 6 pins that go with October, November, December. And then she sent me her Halloween pins. Let me take them out there because there's just too much glare for you to see them properly. And of course, as soon as I want to take them out bag, they get stuck. Seriously. There we go. So you've got a cat, a witch's hat, candy corn, candy cane, candy corn. We don't have these in the UK, so I never know what they are. No, I don't know what they are, but we just don't have them. Well, not that I've seen anyway. Although Halloween is, every single year, is getting more and more like it would be in America, or like I imagine it is in America. And I love it. And those are the Christmas ones. So the 2 I've stitched, now these haven't got the buttons on because I think I said in one of my other videos, I always iron on the backing and then I'll sew the button on through the backing as well, because I don't want to run the risk of putting an iron over one of the buttons. So Trick or Treat, and that one's that way, Knock Knock. So the buttons that they have got, let me just see if I can find them and see if I can hold them up. So the one I haven't done yet is the Born to Spook one, which I will be getting done pronto. So the Trick or Treat one has the candy corn, am I saying that right, candy corn, to go there as the A. And then the Knock Knock one has 2 little buttons, and these little polymer clay buttons. And now this is going to be super hard. 1 purple and 1 green to go there. I'll hold up the pattern again so you can see properly where they're going to go. And I think I'm going to make these into little pillows. So yeah, there's the candy corn, and then there's the two little buttons. Now these are not as big as I thought they were, which is not a criticism at all. These are going to be fabulous for tiered trays, but I just thought they were a little bit bigger, but they're perfect size. Now the other thing that I would say about her designs is that I never really look and see what the called for colours are, and I think that is the sign of a really good design, in the fact that I'm able to pick out colours that I've got in my stash that are similar to the called for, and it doesn't matter if I change the colours slightly, they still look amazing. I can put some of my overdyes in, I can change the colours slightly, and that's a sign of a really good design, when you can do that and it still looks fabulous. So this is a piece of 32 count dirty, which is a little bit darker than what was used. What was called for is Vintage Country Mocha, so I went just a little bit darker than that, and I love it. So those, push those out the way, those are my 4 finishes for this week. 2 of them, like I said, completely came out of the blue, and they were super quick little stitches as well. Brilliant. What else did I work on? I worked a tiny little bit, just dropped something else. There was me thinking I was going to go through 2 episodes without dropping anything. I worked a little bit on the Blue Flower Halloween Parade. Now this is one of my favourite charts from last year, and I haven't got on and stitched it. I don't know whether in my mind's eye I'm saving it or what, but that's where I am. There, let's come over there. So this is a piece of, I think it must be 40 count, that I hand dyed, and I just love the colours in it. And I know probably on camera it doesn't show, I can't see you now, so I hope that's in shot. It doesn't show quite as well in some of the areas, but in person it really does. And I think I might frame this as well, because it's just a little bit too big to be a pillow even on 40 count, and it's just so lovely, so lovely. I think I changed the dog. I think the dog was supposed to be in the dark brown and I changed him to black, but other than that it is the called for DMCs on this one. So I've got some more wording at the top there, I've got 1 other animal there, and then a bit more of the tree, and then 1 other animal in the tree, and then I'm done. So there's not actually that much left to go, so I'd love to get that finished by Halloween and have that on display. That would be super cool. I'm going to pick up quickly the other thing that I started this week. As I said, I haven't had that much time, a bit of a fettle at the same time, I haven't had that much time at lunchtimes this week, because at the moment we've got quite a few students, like all schools, off with COVID, and so when it comes to things like A-level, there's bits that need reteaching, so I've been doing that at lunchtimes. So I started this, which I picked up from Create Nostalgia last week, and I have got the smallest of little starts on that. Literally the smallest of starts. But I love stitching these. I just use the beading needle for the whole thing, and I just put the beads on as I go. And it's recommended to use 3 strands, and I only ever use 2. I've used 3 before when I've done ones on black, but I'm quite happy with 2. 2 for me is fine. And then the last thing I started, oh, look at that, I did have it. And that's upside down. Is that better? Yeah, there we go. I did have it in a different box. So the other thing I started was this sampler, which I had downloaded from the Wishing Thorn, which is called Elizabeth Laidman. And the thing that I really liked about it, let me find the right page, was on the original, on the antique, you can see it looks like the colours of blue change quite a lot. And that's what I wanted to try and emulate. And for those of you who watched last week, I have picked up some Weeks Dye Works Americana on the spools. So these are just 2 strands, and you just use them straight off the spool. And I started with that, and I really liked the floss. I really liked stitching with the floss, but it just wasn't giving me the variegation that I wanted in the lettering. So that was my start with the Americana. Let's see if I can come over here. And then underneath I started with a DMC, and I'll find the DMC out in a minute. It's not showing up particularly well on camera, but you can see there's more variegation in the bottom blue than there is on the top. So I shall save those 2 blue ones for something else, because they're really nice to stitch with. A lot less fiddly, you don't have to split your strands and all that. But the DMC that I decided to use was, and you can tell I've had it hanging about for a little bit because it's on a little spool like that, was DMC 103. It was on a little bobbin. So DMC 103. So you can see that's quite a bit more variegated, and the variegation does show up on it. So that is all my stitching for this week. That's all I've done, and I'm very, very happy with it. One thing that I meant to tell you, Patchwork Rabbit have launched their advent calendar. So if you have not got yours yet, if you go to the Patchwork Rabbit website, you can pre-order yours. It is available from, let me get this right, the 20th of November. And it is all sorts of things from the Gentle Art, Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colour Works, Kelmscott, Dames of the Needle, Pantini, and others. So if you're looking to treat yourself to a advent calendar, then definitely do that. I got mine straight away. I couldn't wait. Carla and Catherine had told me a little bit about their plans, literally the merest outline of their plans. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. I don't know if you watched my last Flossmas. I had an advent calendar, and I got Patchwork Rabbit actually to just send me 24 flosses over a few months, all wrapped up so I couldn't see them, and I got my partner to put them in the little wooden house, and so every day I had a surprise, and I loved that. I really loved that. So what I thought I might do this time is I might do sulky. I might get some sulky spools and put in, and so what I'll do is I'll just give Chris the website, and I'll just say pick 24 of them, and then when they come he can put them in my advent calendar. So that's what I'm planning. I don't know if they're going to fit. I don't know if the sulky spools are going to fit, but we shall see. I think the king spools might, the bigger ones, but I don't know if I want 24 big spools because they're not quite as tall. So anyway, I digress a lot, often. Winners. Let's do some winners. Let's do some winners. Yeah. Now, Stitching Spell very kindly gave me 5 charts last week to give away, and they were super popular. I think that there was about 200 people in each of the words categories, word categories, whatever you want to call them. I have done using random comment picker, and I've notified all 5 winners. I'm going to put the pictures up here of who won them, but I did all 5 and I only screenshotted 3 of them, so I'll put the pictures up that I've got, but that's how I did them all. So let's start off with Advent. So that was Advent, and the winner for the Advent was Josie Connor. So Josie, I've put underneath your comment, if you can either DM me on Instagram or send me an email, then I will get your email and I will send these out to you. The owner of Stitching Spell always signs off as TA, and she knows that I'm going to send them out. I say, keep saying she, I don't know, I should ask really. I'm not sure how you do that. But yeah, she knows that I'm going to send them off to you from my email, and she's happy with that, so we don't have to worry. Right, let's do this one next, and this is the one that I'm going to start stitching. This is Pumpkin, and this is won by DEKO. So I don't know how to go about that any other way. DEKO. So congratulations. This one was Owl, because of the little owl there. I love this one. This was won by J.R. Worley, W-O-R-L-E-Y. So congratulations. This was the one that was called Sun, and Sun was won by Jane L. So well done. And the last one that I just called Bird, Bird was won by Carol Verrett. So congratulations to everyone, and thank you to all those who entered. If you didn't win, and there are only 5 winners, but if you didn't win, then if you go to Stitching Spell on Etsy, A, she's got lots more charts. B, they seem to be all on a 50% sale at the minute, so if you head over there pretty quickly, hopefully you'll be able to pick up what you want for a steal of a deal. They're beautiful charts as well, by the way, really top quality charts. Right, let me show you what else I've got. Let's do the freebie. Let's do the freebie, because I'm a bit concerned last time that I forgot the freebie. So this is the one I've picked. And this popped up on one of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of. And you download it, or I got it from their, where did I get it from? Their Facebook, but it may be on their blog site as well. I'll put the link down below, obviously, as to where I got it from. And this is called the Alexander's Clock. And it's a reproduction of an original sampler, small alphabets. I just really liked the alphabet on this, actually. That's why I picked it. And a couple of crowns. I mean, I think I'm into my crowns at the moment. So there we go. Oh, while I remember about crowns, World of the Strange, really World of the Strange. So Susie Reno, and if you don't follow Susie Reno, she does some fabulous stuff, had stitched the unfinished sampler #1 Maud, and she put it onto her Instagram, and I think she must have tagged me in it because I saw it, and she had used a crown on her unfinished sampler, and the funniest thing was, it was that crown that I had literally just stitched. So of all the motifs that she could have picked to put on her unfinished sampler, she picked a crown that I had literally just finished stitching and tagged me in it. How crazy is that? How crazy. So there we go. I'll put the link for this down below. And yeah, this is the lady. I'm just going to try not to butcher this. Miriam Chauvet, I would say, but then who knows? I'm not very good at French pronunciations, but she is super, super active. She's got lots and lots of reproduction charts that you can find on Creative Poppy, and she's got quite a few freebies as well. So she's super generous with her time and her knowledge in the sampler world as well. So we are all grateful. We're all grateful for that. Right, I'm going to save my haul till the end, and a little bit of fabric dyeing as well, and you'll see why in a minute. So I have got a stack of floss drops to show, and I'm hoping that I have kept them all in the right places. So the first ones are these square ones, which I believe can be used as corner gauges, which is a fantastic idea. And is it Melinda? Yeah, Melinda. It says on there, Melinda. And then she very kindly, later on in the couple of weeks, sent me, she'd had a second set done, a red work one. It doesn't help that I've got one way around and one the other way around. She'd had a red work set done, and so she's very kindly sent me some more of those. So that's her information there. And remember, if you've got any floss drops, if you put them on the hashtag The Great Floss Drop Trade, then other people can find them and see what you're trading. There's so many good things on there, so many good things. Then I had, let me just do this one. Now I've put this one in a little bag because, I'll show you why in a minute. This one came from Karen Balankoff, and those are her cards there. I love these ones with the fancy ladies in their dresses. I think they're gorgeous. And Karen also sent me a needle threader that she'd made that had beads and charms on it. Now, unfortunately, whatever the postal service did to it, it meant that the little thing sheared. So she'd taped it down. So what I did was I very carefully took it off, and then I took a photograph of the order of the beads. And then I've got some of this clear, I don't know what you call it, clear wire. I've got some jeweller's wire, so I should just rebuild it. So absolutely no problem, and thank you so much for that, because it was such a lovely thing to find taped inside the card, so thank you for that. And who else have we got here? These ones from Angie Tice, the lovely card. I love getting all these cards. And hers, she is the sunflower stitcher, so it's no surprise that hers are this beautiful sunflower. And then another lovely card from, oh, just dropped one. There we go. Brandy, who is the at Farmhouse Stitcher, and those are Brandy's beautiful snowy scene, wintry scene. My partner keeps telling me it's going to be really cold this year as well. But he's told me that for like every year for the last 5 years. And how many snow days have I had? How many? None. That's how many snow days have I had. So until I actually get snow days, I'm not interested. Now I know, as a teacher, having just been in a pandemic and been off school for a long time, we shouldn't be thinking about snow days, but a snow day is a different kettle of fish. A snow day is just a glorious thing for everybody involved. And I know when we get a snow day, the powers that be are like, we've got to set some work. I'm like, are you kidding me? We never get snow days. The work is to go out in the snow and play. Even if you're in the sixth form. So, another card. And these came from Abigail. And Abigail is homemade by Abby. And she's made some, whoops, that are this really lovely shape. Which is fab. Who have we got here? Carleen. These came from Texas. And again, they came inside a lovely card. I'm trying to hold it so that the rest of them don't fall out. 2 more sets. These ones came from Rebecca. And Rebecca is Megan Jack's Mama Stitches on Instagram. Beautiful bright ones. And then from the ladies themselves, from Brenda and Laura, I got these ones. Now I know Laura spent a lot of time deciding what images to go with, and then I think she changed her mind several times and has got a few different sets. So she sent me some of those from Brenda and Laura, which I love, and then some of these. So they just go together. They're so opposite ends of the spectrum, but they just go together brilliantly. So I'm super grateful to have some of those. So thank you, ladies, for sending those on. I just love this trading that's going on. I've got to know so many more folks. It's been brilliant, and the cards I've had have said exactly the same things. So long may it continue. Long may it continue. Right. Oh, I've just looked at my notes and I've seen one other thing. Cross Stitch 4, I'll put the name across the bottom, on YouTube made a comment that Pine Needles are doing a free stitch along at the moment, a free Halloween stitch along, and it's one of the ones where you stitch blocks and you get a little tiny square block to fill in every day. It's a free stitch along until the 31st of December, but after that you will have to be paying for it, so I should be going along getting there right away. So it's, yeah, Pine Needles is the company, but Sandra Workman is the designer behind it, so I'll put the information below if you're looking for something like that. Even if you just wanted to stitch a few of the blocks, it would be fabulous. So last week I told you that I was stitching, no I wasn't, I was dyeing, I was having another go at dyeing with some of those roots that I'd got, and one of the ones I had to go with was the Madder root one. So I'd got it soaking and I'd allumed my fabric and I was putting my fabric in, and to see what we got, this is what I got. So it's a sort of a terracotta colour, and it does have some good mottling on it. It's a little bit richer than that, I would say, a little bit richer than that. And it's come out nicely. Now you might sense a hesitation in my voice just because it's not necessarily a colour that I would stitch with. It's not something that I would gravitate towards. So I did think about dunking it in and over dyeing it. But I think what I'm going to do is, I know in one of the Blackbird Designs books there is a drum that is in this sort of colour. So I think what I might do is stitch the drum on this and then see how I go with it. Once I've stitched on it, if I really take to it, then I'll keep it. If I'm still a bit unsure, then I might just over dye the other half of it. And that's one thing about dyeing. I have never managed to ruin a piece of fabric. I've never managed to get to a piece of fabric to such a horrific point that I would never stitch on it. And this is how this piece started, my next piece. I was trying to dye a piece that had sort of greens and browns and things, a piece that I'd seen, and I was trying to replicate it. And I messed it up. Oh, wholly messed it up. So I was like, what am I going to do with that? I've really, really messed that up. And so I just made some grey and I put it in and over dyed it grey. And it looks amazing. It looks really, really good. Ignore the big fold marks in it. But I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So much so that I'm going to try and dye another piece a bit like this. And I don't know whether it's showing up in the... But it's got like greens and browns and things that show through, and I'm really happy with it. Anyway, I think that MamaWitchCrossStitch has got some kind of secret camera in my house, because she must know that I've messed this fabric up, because she then goes and makes another release today. That is going to look amazing on there. I think there's enough of the blue and the white surrounding them that even though they're quite dark colours, I think they're going to stand out on this fabric. So again, it was just a case of take my money, take my money, and I will just stitch it. And it has got, how many colours has it got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 colours, so nothing dramatic in terms of floss requirements there. So I'm going to be stitching that. You can sort of see the greens a bit better there on that. And the other thing I bought actually, and I've looked at this for quite a while, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this is not for this year, but this is our situation last year. And I wanted to stitch something to sort of commemorate that. And I liked this one, Don We Now Our Plague Apparel. Because last Christmas, we were all due to spend it with Mum, and then we all had the Christmas lockdown and nobody could travel anywhere, or certainly we couldn't travel enough to get where we needed to be. And neither could Mum. So yeah, I've been looking at this for a little while, and I wanted something to sort of commemorate that Christmas last year, and hopefully the only Christmas where we ended up spending it separately. So there was that one. Couple of other little bits of haul. I got some pumpkin beads. Now, I'd ordered these, and then I have seen them everywhere since I ordered them. And what I was going to do, and great minds think alike I think, was make some more of those pins. And I've got a tutorial for making them. They're the ones that I made that have got the little spools on the top. I was going to make some that had little pumpkins on the top for some of my Halloween pieces. So I got those from eBay, just little pumpkin beads. I don't think I've got... No, I thought I might have one sticking in something behind me, but I haven't. These I ordered a little while ago and I just completely forgot to show you. These are most of the threads for the Brenda Gervais Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee booklet that came out, and they came from Peakside Needleworks, because at the time I think they were the only ones that had the hickory sticks in. No, I lie, I'm so sorry, I've even got a thing in it. They came from Lakeside Needlecraft, because I tried to get them from Peakside, but Peakside didn't have the hickory sticks in. They had all the other colours, but they didn't have the hickory sticks in. Whether they've got it now, I'm sure they have. They're very good at getting things in really quickly again. But look at that colour. That's the ultraviolet. So, apologies, Kate at Lakeside, but they came from you. And you even sent me a label to show that they came from you. And then the last thing I got from eBay. And I've sort of taken it apart a little bit because it did come with the Ada, but I won't be stitching it on the Ada, so I've just taken that out. I've looked at these for ages. So this is the Janlin kit of Prairie Schooler patterns, which are called, well, this is called Bird Collection. I think that the Prairie Schooler collection is called the same thing, and they come in as a group of 9. And I think when I found them, the charts were about £10. And on eBay, I paid about £8 for this with the chart, but it also came with all the threads as well, and technically the fabric, but I took the fabric out. So I got it for a little bit less, but I got the thread as well. So that suits me fine. And that's it. That's it for this week. I've seemed to have rabbited on a little bit longer than normal, but hey, I'm sure it's fine. I will see you next week, and I hope that you have a lovely stitchy week. Stay classy, stitchers.